Hi, this is Dodger, and you're watching my show.
Three, two, one, ready, go.
So my room right now is a big old dumpster fire. So before we even start, huge shout out to all my friends who offered to help me today. I am currently in Alex Faciani's room, thus all of the adorable Pokemans behind me. Both Gerard and Alex let me use their computers. I'm currently using Octopimp's tripod. Huge shout out to Erin, who has edited the last couple of these episodes, and also to Sam, because he's so supportive and handsome. But yeah, so the audio will be bad. I don't know. We're making do, and I hope that you still wind up liking this episode. If this is your very first episode, please go back and watch other news episodes. I swear that, at least recently, they've been pretty aight. But either way, welcome if you're a new viewer, welcome if you're an old viewer, and let's talk about gaming news. Oh no, I forgot Alex's password to his computer. So for our first piece of news, the prequel comic for Injustice 2 now has a release date. It'll be coming out on April 11th. We are going to see the return of Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo making the comic, so fret not, it will be delightful in a super messed up sort of way. And you might say, oh man, mixed media garbage. Just give me the game, I don't want to read the comic. But guys, in the last few years, they've gotten like really good people to do companion forms of media along with big releases, right? And honestly, when they did the comic series for regular Injustice, it was really good, which is why I'm saying you should be excited. Same team of dudes. Returning to Injustice and working with Tom again feels like a homecoming. Much of the work I'm most proud of is what Tom and I did during the first comic, and it feels great to come back. Tom is one of my favorite writers and one that I enjoy working with the most. We have a similar understanding of the characters, the drama, and the humor, which I think helped make the first series so successful. Working in the Injustice universe allows us to do so many things we're unable to do in any other comic, and I can't wait for fans to see what we have in store for Injustice 2. So that's like, April 11th is a little over a month before the actual game comes out, so it really will be like, sort of part of the hype train for Injustice 2, I suppose. But again, like the original Injustice comics that came out were so good. And if you haven't read them before, you absolutely should. And it'll probably get you really hyped to read the Injustice 2 prequel. And it's digital. I mean, it's just so easy. If you're a huge fan of Ark and Pokemon, you've probably heard about the mod that makes it so that all of the dinosaurs in Ark are Pokemon. It's super cool. They're all directly ripped from Pokemon XY. They've made like little changes here and there in order to, just have it run smoothly, but it basically incorporates all of the elements of Ark. You can ride them, you can capture them, like pretty much everything. So it'll probably come as no surprise as well that they have already been DMCA'd. By who? That is the big question. Because when you look at footage of it, it actually looks fantastic, like really clean. There are a few different Let's Players who are either fans of Pokemon or Ark that have gone through and played this mod, and it looks nice. The team that made it is called Mystic Academy, and when asked about it, I think most people would assume, oh, it's Nintendo. Nintendo is pretty well known for not liking anybody else touching their stuff, right? They're like, you can look at it and you can play it, but don't do anything weird with it, right? Which, it's their property, who's gonna argue? A lot of people, as it turns out, just given the past. But anyway, moving on. Mystic Academy actually believes that there's another team who are also working on a Pokemon mod that got really upset that they released first and decided to DMCA them. Because that's kind of one of the things about these reports, right? Depending on how you go about it, people don't necessarily know who did it. It's kind of like with YouTube, right? There was all kinds of controversy a while back where people were basically going to a video and claiming it just because they didn't like it, because they wanted to stick it to the creator, all sorts of things. And it would cause a situation where the video would be taken down, or at the very least, it couldn't make any money. And whether or not the original creators of the thing cared didn't matter. What mattered was that there was a DMCA on it. So now there's the situation with this mod, there's a DMCA on it, we have no idea who did it, and unfortunately, if it wasn't Nintendo, and that winds up being proven and they're able to keep the mod up, this whole situation probably made it so that Nintendo is gonna find out a lot quicker, and then it's gonna be taken down anyway. So in the meantime, if you're able to play this mod, it looks super cool. As a person who really, really likes Ark, like really enjoys Ark, I think that any mod that has this much love put into it, right, is worth a check. It's worth yeah, that's English. It's worth a check out. Winku. By the way, it's called Pokemon Evolved. Did not say that anywhere in this information dump, so my bad. If you are a fan of the game Limbo or Inside, they're both made by a team called Playdead. Playdead has just put out a teaser for a brand new game. Right in the midst of like a lot of drama around Playdead, because I think the co-founders, like one of them was forced out of the company and given millions of dollars. Anyway, that's not important. We're talking about games. We don't need to talk about drama. None of that. Let's talk about this cool new game that apparently is happening. The teaser image shows a person who's in like a space outfit, dragging a little parachute behind them along a dune of some sort. And off in the distance you can see a meteor or maybe a spaceship falling to its death. Playdead is always like to be a little bit vague, right? Because their games are always a little bit vague. The game always starts in a way where you're like, I wonder what this is about. I think most of us are making the assumption that in this game you're going to play a nondescript child who is in a world of terrifying things, because that's their wheelhouse. I'm really hoping from this image that it winds up being sort of an isolation story, right? Because there's the implication of space. You have this figure with a parachute, perhaps ejected themselves from the very thing that we see falling to a crash, right? I think that would be really interesting because both Limbo and Inside are about being chased, right? Or about like getting away, getting to somewhere and not letting yourself get caught. I love both games very, very much. I would like to see them do something a little bit different with this one. Playdead also is known for taking their sweet old time making games, and I'm cool with that because I love both of them. If you would like to see the original teaser image, I will link it in the description, although we showed it quite a bit during this. It's really cool, but also kind of nerve-wracking, because when a team has a really, really good track record with games, you sort of wait for them to trip. And I don't wish that on them. I don't wish a staggering fall on any game development team ever. I want everybody to make like the game that they want to make and have it run fantastic, obviously. As a consumer, I would love it if every time I bought a game I was like, wow, there was a lot of love put into this. Unfortunately, that's not the world we live in. But I'm just excited to see a team that has made 2 really solid games make another one. And I hope that it winds up being just as intriguing as the last 2 have been. Many of you have probably heard of Tilt Brush. It's I don't want to call it a game, it's like a VR experience where you put on your headset and then whatever controllers the system provides you, you get to use kind of like a paintbrush. People who are very, very talented have done incredible things with this. If you were to Google, you would find all kinds of stuff that would blow your mind, right? Because it's all 3D, you get to walk around it and add dimension and shape, and it's fantastic. I played it a little bit. Can't remember what I did necessarily. Pretty sure I drew a big poo at one point. I think everybody's done that. Anyway, Google is now introducing Tilt Brush Toolkit. Now the toolkit sounds incredible to me, and let me tell you a little bit about it. Basically, their plan is to make it so that you can import what you create in Tilt Brush into Unity. So what that means is you can use Tilt Brush to sort of create a world, right? Because again, you can walk through it, you can walk around it, you can add form, dimension, shape. So what they're saying is you'll be able to create whatever you want inside of Tilt Brush and then put it into Unity and use it as the base for a game. So you could then plop like a little model car in there and be like, here you go, this is where you live now. Again, going back to the fact that people have made just such impressive stuff with Tilt Brush, imagining somebody also taking into account, I could turn this into a video game, is like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to play these games, right? The trailer is also pretty snazzy. I will link that in the description. But if you're interested in this idea, in this concept, you should look it up for real. The Tilt Brush The Tilt Brush Toolkit includes Python scripts and a Unity SDK with everything you need to make movies, interactive stories, video games, music videos, or other projects using assets created in Tilt Brush. So it's not even really limited to games. I mean, the sky's the limit. And I love the fact that this game that was supposed to just be, you know, kind of a silly art think tank, is now being given more options, more freedom, more ways to utilize it. I already said this, but I can't wait for some of my more talented friends to be like, I wonder if I could use that to make a thing. I'll have to take a ponder on that, I suppose. Starting on January 25th, Overwatch is having a Chinese New Year event. It's very exciting. I think that it's gonna wind up having a lot of really cool skins because they have confirmed there's gonna be skins. In fact, some of the skins have accidentally been shown. We're not gonna show you any of them because in case you don't wanna see them, right? I've learned from my mistakes in the past. You guys don't always wanna see that stuff. But I do know what you're thinking. Dodger, I just used all my credits on other stuff because I thought that there wasn't gonna be another holiday event for a while because they just had one. What? I understand, but here's why I'm kind of delighted about this. Overwatch is a game about the world, right? It's specifically about so many different types of people, so many different nationalities of people. It's a story about the globe and what happened to all areas of the world, right? And how different they still are and the ways in which they all now connect inside of the Overwatch universe, you know? And I just love that we're not constricting it to more Western holidays because not all of the characters are Western, right? It's cool, and I hope that they continue to follow that pattern. I hope that holidays that are really important to other areas of the world wind up coming into the game, regardless of whether or not Americans necessarily pay attention to it. And I'm not just saying that because I want all the skins, although I do want all the skins. I still don't have any of the skins really from any of the other holiday events. Sam has all of them because he's a monster. We still just don't have the Reaper Lolita skin, so I've just kind of been, you know, halfway checked out. But again, that will be on January 25th. I will link the trailer in the description. It's very short. It's just a teaser, super tiny teaser for you to check out there. But I think that it's gonna be cool. I like this precedent that they're setting with it. And as a final bit of news, the thing that I believe y'all will care about the most, Yooka-Laylee, highly anticipated game that's going to be coming out. They just put out a trailer that is a multiplayer reveal trailer. And not just multiplayer, co-op too. Yooka-Laylee is supposed to be sort of a spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie, right? And Banjo-Kazooie has all kinds of super fans out there who are really, really excited for Yooka-Laylee. Shout out to Krendor. So the fact that they've revealed that not only can you do all of these tiny little mini games in a multiplayer sense, but also that you can co-op the main story, I think that's pretty cool. I think a lot of people have been hoping for this, but it wasn't confirmed until now. This trailer specifically is a little bit longer, so definitely check out the description for that. And yeah, they have a write-up on all of the different mini games that they're including, so you get kind of an idea of all of the different little bits and bobs that you can play with your friends. Co-op is limited to 2 people, but you can have more than 2 people for the mini games. And Yooka-Laylee was just confirmed for the Switch. So, oh my god, that was an actual okay snap! Guys, I thought that I was gonna snap and it was gonna sound like garbage, and then we were gonna have a good goof about it. I was gonna move on with my life, but that was like an okay snap. I'm so proud of myself right now. I didn't know how to snap until I was kind of old. I didn't know how to swim until I was kind of old too. I'm a late bloomer. Late snapping bloomer. Anywho, thank you guys so much for watching this. I'm sorry that it's not in the normal place with the normal setup, with the normal audio, but I hope that you enjoy it nonetheless. Again, thank you so much to all of my friends who lent a helping hand to make sure that this got out on time, and that it was as good as it could be for today, for this whole thing. If you have a positive or a negative response, feel free to leave it in my comment section. And if you would like to watch any of my streams, you can find them at twitch.tv/dexteritybonus. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm working on a couple of new shows that I'm really excited to pilot out and sort of workshop with you guys and turn into some cool stuff. Yeah, and I might be making just a sort of like channel update video of some kind, not only about this channel, but also about Dexterity Bonus. So keep your eyes out for that. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you've had a fantastic week, and I hope the next week is also fantastic. And I'll see you then for our next news episode. Okay? Bye-bye. Mwah. Winku.